Hey all, Cynthia here, back doing a page, an art journal page for the Crafty Maven Getaway channel. This one is using the January inspiration piece as my guide, and that's just about to come up here. And what I've pulled from that is the colour palette, and then in the bottom left-hand corner is that one that's paint strokes. It looks a little bit confetti-like. You'll see I sort of bring that in a bit later on in the. What I've started doing here is I had a little bit of work already on the page where I've cleaned a couple of the stencils off while making other projects, but now I've just pulled out the gelatos, and once again I'm just sticking to the sort of pastel tones, the yellows and the pinks and the light greens. I don't think I bring a blue in, but I bring blue in later. So just putting it a little bit down and then using my fingers to smear it all in. Just off screen or just slightly on screen there to the right is a cloth which is a little bit damp, so every now and then I wipe my fingers on that to just get a little bit of moisture and just to clean some of the grottiness that's off, that's on my fingers as well. So just spreading that all around. Now with this video, it goes for a little while, so on and off I might add some music here and there, save me having to talk the whole time, but we'll see how I go. When I do a page, I really don't have any plans on what I'm going to do. I just start and I just go with the flow. So here I decided I want to bring back in some of the white that was in the background initially, and I've pulled out that stencil. Now a little bit of this stencil was already in the background when I started the page, so I've grabbed that with a little bit of just what's that? That is called gesso, white gesso. So add a little bit of that to the page. I think I add a little bit more. No. Now I'm roughly sketching out a tree. The way I come up with a tree, you can see there on the bottom right hand side that bit of pink sort of comes off and then shoots up a little bit. That reminded me of a base of a tree trunk, and that is what made me decide to use a tree. So I've torn up some little bits of paper, and I'm going to use paper collage pieces to create a tree as such. So there it is there. Not looking the greatest at the moment, but I come back and do more work later on down the track. Grabbed a tissue out of my stash, and I'm going to glue that to some white cardstock because I want to use it to punch heart shapes out, and I'm going to use the hearts as my leaves on the tree, which represent the confetti that you saw in the inspiration piece back at the beginning. So I don't make you watch me do it all. I do a little bit here and then just check to see whether I like the hearts, and I do, so I just go ahead and punch a big stack out in different colours. So as you saw the colours there that was in that tissue paper or serviette, there was some nice pinks and greens and some blues. In a minute I will speed this up so you see the whole lot, but I do it in quick motion. So that's all done now, and I'm just showing you there that I used that paper, and I think it could be a Cocoa Vanilla Studio paper, and it had some butterflies on it, and I've just trimmed those out, and I'm going to use 5 of those on the page. So I've already glued them down there. I did put some little bit of foam or some chipboard underneath their wings just to give them a little bit of dimension on the page as well. So I'm thinking this is the way I'm going to leave it, but the more I'm fiddling, I decide that I'm not really liking the tree at the moment. So I bring in the blue gelato, and I'm going to go over the whole the tree trunk so you can still see all the paper underneath, but it's sort of got more of a cohesive colouring to it. So it's got this blue shade, and just I think it looks a little bit better than the different colours that I had. I still like the textures that I've created, but I like that a little bit better. So liking that way that's looking, and now I'm going to come in and do some shading. So I've pulled out the Artist Pit pens, and I think I use the majority of the shading I do with this one, which is cinnamon, and there's just a couple of spots I grab a darker colour just to be able to add some really depth into where all the leaves are, but most of the shading is done with this cinnamon colour. Right, there we go, all the shading's done. I pull out this glitter shimmer pen and just go over top of the butterfly so the wings have a little bit of shimmer and shine to it, and I think it was gold, that one, or did I pull out the silver one? Can't quite remember now. Testing my stamp, I have this stamp here and it's going to say unique, and I want to put it there, and then I realised that the butterfly is there and it's going to mess up my stamping. I'm not going to be able to make it stamp a clear image. I'm thinking about moving the location, but I definitely want it to be there. So and think about how I can change it around, but in the end I stamp it down, and I knew it wouldn't stamp a perfect image, but I'm just going to grab out a black Posca paint pen and fill in the gaps with that. You'll see me do that here in a moment. There we go. Just going to fill in the gaps. And basically you wouldn't know that it didn't stamp correctly. Just grabbing the stamp out here so I can see how this part of the U looked, so I can make sure it matched the rest of it. And then I go into my alphas and I pull out these here. These are Kaiser Craft, had these in my stash forever and a day. I think they still make them, just mini alphas. And I put down the rest of my title, and I'm going to put it on some white cardstock so then I can cut it out and glue it on. So there it is. It's good to be unique. Grabbed out the Distress Oxide ink. I think this is in fire brick red or something like that. It's called some fire brick or something or other. And going to just ink up the edges of the pages just to give it a little bit. Grab some black acrylic paint, water it down, and add some black spatalashes. And I think I'm coming to the end of the page, but I'm not. I stop it and I have a look at it. Don't really like the tree the way it is. I want to cover the stem up or the trunk up there. So I glue another serviette down to some white cardstock, punch out another big stack of hearts, and I'm going to cover that top bit there and make some of the other limbs a little bit fuller and spread some more around as well, so the tree is just fuller with leaves. And there we go, there's the photos, close-ups. So I hope you enjoyed this process. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. Love reading all your comments, and until next time, everyone have a lovely day, a lovely week, or a lovely month, and I'll talk to you in the next one.